Good morning, Richie's Chicken and Soul fam. It is 8 a.m. I'm at Richie's Chicken and Soul Avondale, and we got some exciting news. We are getting a new drive-through system. So, drive-through here has been we haven't been using the drive-through since we opened because one, we were a little short-staffed, got that taken care of, and two, we had a really old system and the audio was really bad, and so a lot of times we have an intercom system, which I'll show you, and we just told the customers to come to the window because we just couldn't hear that well, and some sensors were off, and it was just an old system, which I'll show you right here. So here's our old system's intercom, and you hit talk, allows us to talk back and forth. We talk through this thing, and there's a speaker outside, which I'll show you in a second. But it was just very hard to hear. Customers were hard to hear us. It was hard for us to hear the customers. It just wasn't a good system. Super old retro system, and so we're replacing that with a new drive-through system, and we'll have headsets and all that good stuff. They would hear better, it's HD, quality sound, all that good stuff. So we're super excited about it. We are going to have to work through kind of our new workflow, make sure everything's running the way we want it to, but we'll get that figured out. And so today is, what's today's date? Monday the 23rd, September 23rd. Thru Day, Bengals play today. But yeah, we're gonna get this system up and running. Hopefully in another week, we'll go open the drive-thru back up. I know everybody's been wanting that. I know we love seeing your faces, but some of y'all on the move would much rather just go to the drive-thru and keep moving. So we'll show you all of that. This is the current box we're using for our speaker and everything. Got a new one. We got to figure out make sure they have everything that they need for that. Here is the pressure system. I don't know if you can see these saw cuts right here, but this loop is broken right here, which they pointed out. And it's supposed to loop over to this thing, and basically it creates a closed loop, and that's how the system senses whether there's a car here or not. So we're gonna get that fixed as well. That's what we're facing with. Sign looks good. We gotta get rid of that sign. Drive-through closed. We're about to reopen. So in terms of drive-through systems, we looked at two. We looked at a system called Apex, and then these guys are HME. Why we chose HME? Big part, the sales guy came out and did a walkthrough and kind of explained how the drive-through systems work, all the different potential issues, and really explained everything. And so we really kind of chose them based off of the service, and I'm not familiar with drive-thrus and how they work, so it was super helpful to have somebody just walk through how everything works. So that's why I chose them. Price-wise, they're around the same. A little bit cheaper with HME because it included the install, which is about, I would say, all in, it's about $6,000. So we shall see. The installer just left. We are not getting a drive-thru thing installed today. As a business owner, you're always rolling with the punches. So there is a miscommunication between the sales guy and the installer, and so ran into a couple issues. One, let me flip this camera around so you can kind of see. So one, the installer wasn't prepared to do any saw cuts. The sales guy told me, yes, we're going to need new saw cuts because this one's too big and theirs is a lot skinnier. Sales guy, for some reason, wasn't communicated to him. Second issue is these speaker boxes that communicate the sound. They're a lot bigger. But the sales guy said, hey, no issue, we could just mount in the same spot. The installer says, not a good idea. They're about a little bit over twice the width of that one, so it's going to block a large piece of it. He recommended a drive-through post or a speaker post. And then the last issue he saw is that right now the wires for our drive-through communication, or the speakers are this little wire. They're not in any type of enclosure. He recommended running conduit all the way back. We don't have any good runs, so unfortunately we're gonna have to delay this install, get that all figured out. Super interesting conversation. So HME has a very interesting setup. I think it can cause some issues. They have dealers who they work with who sell their product, and they have sales guys that are national and they'll fly into different markets. And in previous years, or in the pre-pandemic, from my understanding, the sales guys wouldn't go into dealers' markets. They would funnel all the sales there. But we had no clue when we reached out to HME that there's a local dealer. The local dealer says, hey, well, sales guy is just trying to sell. He doesn't know all the intricacies. And so there's a little communication gap that's happened. So very interesting setup. So a little skeptical, not skeptical, but I would say a little disappointed in the process, because sales guys tell you, oh, this is easy, da 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 da. But ultimately, they're just trying to make a sale. And so we got snafu and, wasted an hour and a half of my time this morning. So that is what it is. So on to the next project. We'll talk to you soon.